My name is Ray Bowyer and I fly a civilian airliner as captain. I've been invited here due to my sighting last April of multiple as yet unidentified objects over the Channel Islands region of the English Channel. This encounter lasted for 15 minutes and the first object being visible from 55 miles distance. On nearing the object, a second identical shape appeared beyond the first. Both objects were of a flattened disc shape with a dark area to the right. They were brilliant yellow with light emanating from within, and I estimated them to be up to possibly a mile across. I found myself astounded but curious, but at 12 miles distant these objects were becoming uncomfortably large and I was glad to descend and land the aircraft. Many of my passengers saw the objects, as did the pilot of another aircraft 25 miles further south. There is also possible radar information still being investigated. A team headed by Dr. David Clark looking at this case will shortly be published. Will shortly publish a report, but I understand that this time no definitive solution has been discovered to explain the sighting as yet. I've taken note of some of the differences between the British and the US reporting system. It appears that attitudes on opposite sides of the Atlantic are very different when it comes to the required reporting and recording of this type of event. Air law stipulates quite clearly that if an operating crew of an aircraft see another aircraft in a place that it shouldn't be, then at the earliest opportunity the whole scenario is to be reported to the relevant authorities. In my case, the British Civil Aviation Authority knew within 20 minutes of the sighting what was seen as described in the flight log and faxed directly to the relevant CAA office. The military were informed by Jersey Air Traffic Control at the same time. This is not an option. This is an obligation that crews react in this manner. In my experience, having reported the incident as required has had no negative effect, and there was no problem with me talking about this on British television. Indeed, my company, Aurigny Air Services, have offered every support to date. The assistance of Jersey Air Traffic Control in releasing recorded information to myself and the investigating team has been of great benefit. I did not feel that I was in any danger of being ridiculed because all I did was report what actually happened, as was my duty as operating aircrew. I heard about the multiple witness sightings at Chicago O'Hare Airport about a year ago now, on November the 7th, 2006. I was surprised to hear how it was handled. Despite many pilots and airport personnel witnessing the object hovering over the terminal, there was no investigation at all by the FAA. It appears that pressure may have been applied to crew members by their company not to discuss this incident. I would have been shocked if I was told that the CAA in UK would obstruct an investigation, or if the CAA told me that what I had seen was something entirely different. But it seems that pilots in America are used to this sort of thing here. I would urge all fellow aircrew to report whatever they see as soon as possible and to stand up and be counted. It's only when crucial and critical witnesses such as aircrew make reports that the authorities will be kick-started into a broader investigation of this phenomena. Thank you very much.
When I was flying for the Air Force 420th Air Refueling Squadron stationed at RAF Sculthorpe in England in January of '62, we were in orbit for refueling fighter aircraft over the North Sea at about 30,000 feet in our KB-50J tanker just after sunset on a clear night. London Control excitedly called us and notified us that they had an unidentified object hovering on their radar near Stonehenge. We were asked if we were willing to intercept the unidentified craft, and our refueling mission had just finished, so we quickly agreed to chase their UFO. We were given an intercept heading and started to dive toward the UFO. It was really an exciting situation. Next, and we were to go towards Stonehenge, which is over the center of England. Next. London Control was diverting all aircraft out of our way so that we could have a clear path for the intercept. Then we realized we were above our red line speed on the aircraft and had to pull back on the power. And London Control started giving us distances to the hovering UFO. Next. It was some 60 miles ahead and then 40 and so on. And as we got closer, we got the radar going on our aircraft and picked up the hovering UFO in the distance, about 30 miles. It was an exceptionally large radar return. Next. And just judging on the size of the radar return, it was about equal to the Brooklyn Bridge or the Firth of Forth Bridge in Scotland, which is a huge bridge about a mile long. It was the biggest radar return that I'd ever seen on the aircraft radar. And it was sharp and solid as compared to the fuzziness of a rain cloud. I felt the craft must be made of steel or some kind of strong metal. We were doing about 425 miles per hour as we approached to about 10 miles. This gives you an example of how large a radar return it was. It was a dark night, and we could only see a series of dim lights directly ahead. Next. This is something what it looked like in the distance. Suddenly the UFO seemed to come alive, and the lights brightened immensely, and the UFO accelerated in a launch similar to a space shuttle taking off. Next. Lit up the sky and disappeared, frankly. We saw much brighter lights and a fantastic acceleration. It seemed to go straight up, just estimating speed like 50,000 miles an hour, 100 times faster than we were moving. We asked London Control if they had any rocket launches in the area. London Control seemed as disappointed as we were, and the controller said, "There are no rocket launches in the area. Thank you for your intercept. You are now cleared to return to your mission." The incident was recorded in my navigator's log and was mentioned the next day in operations. Interestingly, the Air Force did not seem particularly interested. A few weeks later, we were invited to a dining in with Prince Philip as a speaker, and he asked to speak with the air crews that had chased the UFOs. So apparently London Control had told him that we had chased this UFO, and we sat down at the table with him, and he was very friendly, and I essentially told him what I just told you, and he indicated that he regularly interviewed the air crews that were chasing UFOs. Either he or his aide would interview them. And I asked why Prince Philip was personally interested in UFOs, and he said that his uncle, the Earl Mountbatten, had seen the UFOs close up in the Navy, and that obviously he believed his uncle.